Dodge Ram 09 to 10. 10 years later, and we are gonna try to get it on there. Wish us luck. What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to the shop. In today's upload, we are going to be continuing working on Evan's 5th Gen Cummins that we started on in the last video. Now, if you're watching this and haven't seen that video yet, I'm going to link it right up here because I want you to check that out. That's going to give you a good representation of where this truck has started and what it's going to look like when we are completed with it. With that being said, we're going to get started on tearing the bumper down. We actually got the truck completely disassembled in that last video, as I'm sure you guys remember, but now we need to actually take the parts off of the parts, if that makes any sense. Everything on that front bumper needs completely stripped down because we got to get it out to get sandblasted. So I'm actually going to hand you off to Corey. He's going to get started on that. So let's get to it. So Corey got the bumper all disassembled and we already got it down to get sandblasted. Hopefully we'll be seeing that back in the next week or two. But honestly, you never know. Those guys are really busy down there. But while we wait, we're gonna keep going on the truck. So I'm actually gonna get Hunter. He's gonna get started on taking apart the mirrors, and he's also gonna get started on prepping those all up. Hunter's kind of training to do that and he's doing a really good job. So I'm just gonna let him run with it. Hunter did go ahead and get the mirrors completely prepped up. I brought them in the booth here because I'm actually spraying some Super Duty parts for another build that we're doing in the shop right now. As you can see, this was actually a collision job, so we actually had to replace this entire bedside. And while we were at it, we were also putting some new bumpers on. So I put my epoxy primer on this stuff here. So I'm going to start by just spraying the caps with primer for right now, and then we will worry about the rest at a later time. So we got 2 coats of primer sprayed on all this stuff. So these are completed. We did upgrade the entire lighting system in the booth, and it's putting off this blackish kind of sheen across your screen. So I want to try to mess with some of the settings in the camera so I can try to get rid of that. I know that's really annoying coming through. Trust me, I will get that squared away soon. So hopefully I can get that resolved by the next time we're in here. The next thing we're gonna get started on is the roll pan. So I'm gonna take you out to that right now. So here is the roll pan, guys. As you can see, it is plastic. Yeah, that's really the only roll pan that they make for a 4th gen or 5th gen that will work on these trucks. The roll pan is from a company called Street Scene. And what I thought was kind of interesting about this is that right on the back, it actually says Dodge Ram 09 to 10. 10 years later, and we are gonna try to get it on there. Wish us luck. Now, I do know just from experience putting the roll pan on my own truck, some modifications are required right off the bat. We actually have to notch this out a little bit bigger. They just didn't put enough room for the wire that needs to be in here. And then also we're gonna have to run a cut along this entire length here because there's actually not enough room for this to go up inside the tailgate. Corey, actually, speaking of Corey, this is Peachy Duramax. Yes, we added another member to the Peachy crew. What'd you buy?
I have a 2007 LBZ Duramax.
Sweet. What's so special about it?
Probably the color.
And the sunroof.
Oh, okay. Sunroof, full leather, top of the line for 07.
Where'd you buy it?
I'm Ridge Auto.
Oh, hell yeah.
Hit my boys up, Sam and Jamie.
Link in the description below. So yeah, we will be revealing this new truck to the channel, Peachy Duramax. You gotta check him out on Instagram. He's actually doing pretty good already. What do you have, almost 800 followers?
700.
Oh man, so you're moving up in the world. Pretty soon you'll be passing Hunter. guys, so Corey got this cut. This actually looks really, really good, nice and smooth. I did not know that this needed to be cut when I did it on my truck. What I did was I cut it after paint, so my entire roll pan is red and then this is black, and it doesn't look so good. So we're kind of learning from our mistakes here and fixing it right, so that way it looks nice when it's all done. Now, Corey, Peachy Duramax, as I just said, is measuring out for these sensors. So what we did was we bought 4th gen sensor holders. So here is the factory 5th gen bumper. Obviously new bumper, new body style truck. Here's where they decided to put the sensors. Now Ram did this, in my opinion, because on the 4th gens they had holes in the bumper right in here, hold the sensors. The reason Ram did it this way is so that way every single bumper that they manufactured for the truck is exactly the same. So the chrome section on this truck does not change no matter what trim package you have, which I think was a good idea in terms of manufacturing standpoint, because they only have to produce one of these chrome bumpers. The plastic pieces might be a little bit easier to replace, so they put the sensors down in here. These are the sensor brackets right in here, and as you can see, they're pretty beveled. So here is the old 4th gen style. It's nice and flat, and that's gonna fit nice and flush in our roll pan, but this one, it would not fit. With the 5th gens, they also did make a new sensor. This looks a little bit different than the one on my truck, but the good thing is it actually fits. Okay, I lied. So I thought these would fit right up, but it looks like we're gonna have to do a little bit of modification. They do pop in, but they're a little bit farther away from the sensor hole than what they should be. So hopefully we can just do some grinding and kind of cut off some of these little bits of plastic and make them slide in there. We're kind of traveling in uncharted territory here because, like I said, this is kind of new. As I'm standing here thinking I could go back and buy 4th gen sensors that would fit perfectly in here, but then I would need to buy a 4th gen wire harness, and if I did that, I'm not sure if they would plug in just the same. So I'm gonna try my best to make this work. You guys will just have to stay tuned to see if I can make it happen. Let's head back over to Corey because he is gonna start drilling these holes. There she is, all done. We got all the modifications that we needed to get this roll pan on are all completed. We got the top cut, as you can see. We also got this tailgate area notched out, and we got all of our holes drilled for our sensors so we can make these sensors work with this roll pan. The next thing that I'm gonna do, I'm gonna actually throw it on a quick bake in the booth here to warm up this plastic. It's not quite made right. It's kind of a little funky in here. This is slightly bulged out and this is sucked in. So the heat's gonna kind of soften all this up and make it a little bit easier, because the next thing we're actually going to do is bolt this on the truck. Now, some of you might be thinking, well, why aren't you painting it first? And the answer for that is this is a difficult install. I don't want to risk chipping it or scratching it or anything like that because of the amount of work we have to do to get this on, because like I said, it doesn't quite fit perfectly, so we're gonna have to do some modification to make it right. I'd rather put it on like this, that way if I scratch it, well then I can sand it out and paint it and it's all fine. If I painted it first and ruined it, that would suck. I'd have to repaint the whole thing, so I don't want to do that. The other thing is there is 2 waves in this roll pan. I'm going to try to get them on the camera here. Basically right in here, they're kind of swales. It was how it came in shipping. I'm not 100% sure why this had it, but we are going to heat it up and try to get that out of here too, because we want this to look nice and straight. We don't want to see any waves or anything. And there she is. Can you kind of see the, oh, I guess I shouldn't say that. Can you kind of see the back end of this truck coming together? Check this thing out, guys. I mean, body lines are fitting up nice, evenly across the back. Wow. Everything fits really good. The bottom here sticks out just a little bit. So we're actually gonna throw a screw on this side, as well as this side. We're gonna put a screw right up in here to hopefully try and keep this from moving out. But as you can see, guys, I mean, fitting up pretty nice. I know this style line is always a problem just because it's plastic to metal and it doesn't always line up perfectly, but this one's really, really close. It looks good. And I think that when this is painted too, this is gonna blend in nicely. Just make it look complete. This whole back of this truck is gonna make it look a heck of a lot better. Now that the roll pan's on there, we are gonna go ahead and screw everything down. We just have it double side taped on for now. We're gonna reinforce everything with screws so it doesn't go anywhere. And the final thing I wanna do is try and get the waves out of this. So as I showed you in the booth there, I wanna try to get these little swales out of here from shipping. So we're gonna warm this up again and just kind of put a little bit of pressure and try to massage it out, but I wanna make sure I screw it in first. So the question of the video, does a 4th gen roll pan fit on these new body style 5th gen trucks? And the answer, as you can see, is yes. So as you saw, it did take a good bit of modification, but hey, it's on there. If you want this look, if you wanna make it look unique, because not many of these trucks have these, well then you gotta put in the work to make it happen. So with that being said, I would say this type of installation is definitely professional installation required. I wouldn't recommend you doing it yourself because of the amount of work it does take to make it work on the trucks, and also just the complexity of the plastic to metal and mounting it and then prepping the plastic. It is a ton of work, and if you don't know what you're doing, you could quite frankly mess it up pretty bad. So always make sure you take it to someone who knows what they are doing, preferably someone who has done it before. I'd be more than happy to do it for you. This will be our second plastic roll pan that we have put on these Ram trucks. And like I said, I use my own truck as a guinea pig. So any mistake I could have made, I made it on that. So now when we're doing this, I can check off all the boxes to make sure I don't do the same thing twice. If you guys do have any questions, you can go ahead and drop a comment down below. I'll do my best to try and help you out. Also, please make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel, and don't forget to tap that bell icon because you don't want to miss when we finish this thing up. In the next upload, we are going to go ahead and start doing some of the painting. So you'll have to see what we have in store for that. And thank you guys so much for watching. We'll catch you in the next upload.